Question 1. Compare the different ways in which the Belgians and the Sri Lankans have dealt with the problem of cultural diversity. Answer. Both Belgium and Sri Lanka are democracies, yet they have dealt with the problem of cultural diversity very differently. Belgium. 1. Leaders realized that for the unity of the country it is important to respect the feelings and interests of different communities. The constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French-speaking people shall be equal in the central government. 2. Both Dutch and French communities share power on an equal basis at the center. Along with the state government, both communities have a third kind of government called community government, which decides on cultural, education and language-related issues. 3. Between 1970 and 1993, the constitution was amended 4 times to enable all linguistic groups to live together within the same country. Sri Lanka. 1. In Sri Lanka, there are 2 major communities, the Sinhalese-speaking and Tamil-speaking. The majority community, the Sinhalese, have forced their domination over Tamils, refusing to share power. 2. Both communities have lived in tension as the Sinhalese have denied political, educational, religious, employment and economic rights to the Tamils, leading to civil war. 3. In 1956, the government passed an act to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, thus disregarding Tamil. Question 2. Explain any 3 consequences of the majoritarian policies adopted by the Sri Lanka government. Answer. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. The democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish Sinhala supremacy. Consequences of these majoritarian policies. 1. The Sri Lanka Tamils felt that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders were sensitive to their language and culture, and the government policies denied them equal political rights, which led to increased feeling of alienation among them. 2. The Sri Lanka Tamils felt that the constitution denied them equal rights in politics, in getting jobs, and ignored their interests. The relation between the Tamil and Sinhala communities became extremely strained as a result. 3. The Sri Lanka Tamils launched parties and struggles for the recognition of Tamil, for regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in every field. 4. Therefore, the measures adopted by the government to establish Sinhala supremacy led to distrust between the 2 communities, which turned the widespread conflict into a civil war. As a result, thousands of people of both communities were killed and many families were forced to leave the country as refugees and lost their livelihoods. Question 3. Why is the ethnic composition of Belgium complex? Answer. Belgium is a small country in Europe, having a population of a little over 1 crore. 1.59% of the country's total population lives in the Flemish region and speak Dutch language. 2. Another 40% people live in Wallonia region and speak French. Remaining 1% of the Belgians speak German. 3. Whereas in the Belgian capital, Brussels, 80% of the population is French-speaking and 20% is Dutch-speaking. Question 4. What is majoritarianism? Is it wrong if a majority community in a country rules? Give reasons to justify your answer. Answer. I believe that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants, by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority, as majoritarianism. Yes, it is wrong if a majority community in a country rules. 1. The very idea of power sharing has emerged in opposition to the notions of undivided political power. 2. A positive attitude towards diversity and willingness to accommodate it is good for democracy. 3. Power in the hands of one community will make the other community feel marginalized, deprived and discriminated. 4. The struggle against such inequalities sometimes takes the path of conflict and defiance of state power, as in Sri Lanka. Question 5. Describe the vertical and horizontal forms of power sharing exercised in India. Answer. Vertical distribution of power. Power can be shared among governments at different levels, a general government for the entire country and governments at provincial or regional level. This is the federal form of government. When power is shared among governments at different levels, i.e., the union or the central government, the state government and the municipality and panchayat at the lower level. This division of power involving higher and lower levels of government is called the vertical division of power. The Constitution clearly lays down the powers of different levels of government. This federal division of power involving higher and lower levels of government is also called the vertical division of power. Example, a key change in the Constitution of Belgium in 1993 was that the regional governments were given constitutional powers that were no longer dependent on the central government. Thus, Belgium shifted from a unitary to a federal form of government. Horizontal distribution of power. Power is shared among different organs of government, such as the legislature, executive and judiciary. This is horizontal distribution of power. It ensures that power is shared among different organs of government, the legislature, executive and judiciary. It allows different organs of government placed at the same level to exercise different powers. In a democracy, ministers and government officials exercise power. They are responsible to the parliament or state assemblies. The judges appointed by the executive can check the functioning of executive or laws made by the legislature. The horizontal distribution of power is also called a system of checks and balances. This system ensures that none of the organs can exercise unlimited power. Each organ checks the other. This results in a balance of power among various institutions. Example, in India the judiciary has an independent status. The Supreme Court is the apex court of justice. The parliament is the legislative body where the laws governing the country are made and the executive is the implementing body.